Welcome to the Daily Debate Live Wednesday with Taghareed Hussein here on Nile TV International. Tonight we'll be talking about a very interesting topic, talking Egypt's diplomacy and soft power. Egypt's state power is a critical factor in international relations because it's the main detriment of the important role that the state can play in the international community and also in its relations with others, either in the region or even globally. Broadly speaking, the forms of power are numerous. They also varied over time. However, they don't only fall under the categories of military strength, but also economic might, political power, and technology, as the political scientists have recently begun to speak of a new category of power, which is called soft power. Diplomacy is one of Egypt's powers that isn't only identified with official relations between sovereign states, but also concerned with the global image of the state at large and nurturing our relations with the foreign states and people around the world. So diplomacy is definitely one of Egypt's soft power. Diplomacy is a paramount element in the upkeep of peace and also the creation of Egypt's positive image. Tonight we'll be tackling some of the achievements of Egypt and the new republic and our diplomacy. And I have all the pleasure to host one of Egypt's knights in the field of diplomacy and foreign policy, knowing how soft power can be exercised directly through the powers of persuasion as diplomacy and charismatic leadership, or even indirectly as well. I'm honored to have with us tonight His Excellency Ambassador Youssef Zadeh. Thank you so much, Ambassador.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. His Excellency has been working in Egypt's embassies abroad from 1981 until 2018 and represented Egypt in 10 countries and more all over the whole world, in the Netherlands, in England, Syria, Algeria, Singapore, in Kuwait, Ukraine, New York, Brazil, and finally our ambassador to Poland. So a rich history, as we can see. God bless you, Ambassador. And before delving into tonight's issue, talking about Egypt's soft power and the Egyptian diplomacy, we'll be checking up the coming report shedding light on the presidential inaugurations earlier in the day. Egypt continues efforts to bring something new every day, and we can see that we're working hard at night, the president and the government and all Egyptians, for a better quality of life in the different governorates all over Egypt. Earlier in the day, it was Giza. Let's see the report and we'll be back.
President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi inaugurated on Wednesday a number of national projects in the housing, sports and roads sector via video conference in Greater Cairo. The projects inaugurated from the 6th of October city included housing projects to secure thousands of units for Egypt's youth. The inaugurated projects also include a health club in the 6th of October city, as well as a number of roads and bridges. During the inauguration ceremony, Housing Minister Asim al-Ghazzar stated that investments in new cities around Cairo amounted to 400 million Egyptian pounds, including 220 million to upgrade fourth-generation cities. Transport Minister Kamel al-Wazir also stated that the Egyptian state has spent 550 billion Egyptian pounds to ease traffic in Greater Cairo. In the same regard, Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli said that Egypt has established national road projects through the past 7 years in record time, adding that the state constructs road projects that are usable for 50 to 100 years to come. During the ceremony, President el-Sisi underlined the need to maintain the previously determined building requirements and highlighted the importance of the Parliament's role in this regard. He also affirmed that with any mosque constructed in a housing unit, a church should also be built. The President also stressed that any removal of residential buildings to carry out national projects is always accompanied by compensation for the affected residents. During the event, President el-Sisi underscored the need for easing the movement of citizens living in the areas west of Cairo, in reference to the Giza neighborhoods, like the way things went with those living in eastern Cairo. In this regard, the head of state called for a study on traffic corridors that could be established in overcrowded areas in Giza to further ease congestion there. and called on officials to conclude the remaining road projects in Giza districts by the end of the year. During the inauguration ceremony, a documentary titled A Construction Epic was screened. The documentary highlighted the inaugurated projects, which comprised the upgrade of a number of roads and axes in the Giza Governorate to facilitate movement for citizens. It also underscored the construction of a number of housing projects in the 6th of October city, along with the establishment of the October City sports complexes.